Want to turn a baby bib into a personalized keepsake? Today, I'll show you how to use HavTerra's floral alphabet stick and stitch patterns to embroider beautiful custom letters step by step. Links for supplies are below. If you shop through them, I may earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. Thank you for supporting my channel. Let's embroider on these beautiful cotton muslin baby bibs. They're super soft on the back side, which is great being against your baby. There are some beautiful color options. This is one of the many sets available. I will have these linked below. Next, you're going to need your floral alphabet stick and stitch set, and then you want to cut out the letter that you want to use or embroider onto your piece. I'm going to do the A. Peel the backing off of your stick and stitch pattern and place that down where you want to stitch. Don't sweat it if you don't like where you put it. You can peel that back up and replace it back down. Once you have that in place, go ahead and get an embroidery hoop out. This is a 3-inch hoop. This fabric is pretty soft, so I think it's important to use a hoop in this instance. And let's get stitching. We're going to use the back stitch as the border of this letter. So come up through your fabric and go down a stitch length away. This is DMC cotton embroidery floss. I'm using 4 strands. While we're right here, I'm going to sneak that little stitch in that's not quite in the same pattern line that we were working, but we'll just get it out of the way. So just coming up through the fabric and then going back down in the pattern, and then come up a stitch length away from that first stitch, and then you're moving backwards. That's why it's called the back stitch. I like to go down the same hole instead of creating a new one, and then come up a stitch length away and then go back down. I am going to speed this up, but I will show you the direction I moved in so you can see or feel more confident if you're a beginner stitcher with which direction to go. If you're a beginner and you still need help learning how to thread your needle or separate your DMC cotton floss, like say into 4 strands like I'm using here, there is a tutorial for that. I will also link that in the caption. When it's time to switch thread, flip your piece over and then go underneath the closest stitch to where your thread is hanging. Leave a loop out and then catch that loop with your needle and pull it tight. And then do this again just for security purposes. Go back through that same stitch, leave a loop out, and then catch that loop with your needle, and then you've made another knot. And then you can snip that extra off. And then you're ready to thread your needle with the next color. We're going to move on to the petal next. And this is kind of a glorified version of the satin stitch, and let me show you why. I like to divide my shape in half, so come up through the bottom of the wide side of your petal, and then go down right in the center at the small side, come back up again on one of those sides, and now only go 3/4 of the way down. And this will help you not have a lot of bulk toward the narrower end of this shape. So come up again, and now you're going to go the full length. And you can see that that actually fills in quite nicely. And you're just going to keep alternating a full stitch and a 3/4 stitch. So this one's the 3/4, and then we can do a full to fill that in. And then you'll work the other side. And then you can keep doing that all the way around this pattern. It's helpful to section off your patterns anytime you're doing a satin stitch. It will help you keep your stitches straight and in line. I'll also list all the thread colors I'm using in the caption. I'm going to speed this up again so you just see the direction that I went while stitching. Let me know in the comments if this way of filling in a narrowed satin stitch is a new technique for you. The stitch we are going to do after this is the leaf stitch, and we'll do that on the leaf. So come in at the top of your leaf and then go back down a little bit higher than the middle, like a tiny hair. And then come in at the top, but a little ways down from that first stitch on one side of your pattern. Pull your needle through, and then go back down below that last middle stitch. And you're just going to keep repeating that and alternating sides. So come up on the opposite side a little ways down, following your pattern, and then keep moving your thread down that center. This is such a simple stitch, but it looks so impressive once it's complete. I'm going to speed this up just so you can see it fill in. And then we're going to move our way up with this same thread to the stem. We're just going to do the back stitch like we did with the outline of the letter. And then once you get up to the leaves, you can also do the leaf stitch there. And we will move on to the lazy daisy. I'm going to switch thread colors. Come up through the bottom of one of your petals for the lazy daisy stitch. Then go down right next to where you came up at the bottom of that same petal. Leave a loop out. I'm going to leave a loop. And then you want to come up with your needle at the top of that petal. And then once you come up, you can catch that loop. Once you catch that loop, you need to anchor it down. So we're going to take our needle and go down right next to where you came up, but over the top of that loop. And then it will anchor that loop down so it won't be loose. And then you can pull that tight. And go ahead and do that all the way around. And then I switch thread colors, and then let's do the French knot. So come up through your flower center, wrap your needle 2 times, go down right next to where you came up. Keep your working thread pulled taut while you pull your needle all the way through. And it should keep that knot intact. I'm going to show you the Colonial Knot on this bottom flower. It seems like everyone likes one or the other, so I'll show you both ways, but you get the same result. So come up through your fabric. This one's a little trickier. You want to make a backward C, and then put your needle up through the backward C, and then wrap your needle, and see how it makes like an 8 shape? That's how you know you've done it right. Put your needle back down through your fabric right next to where you came up. Keep your working thread pulled tight and pull through. I'm going to show you 2 more times just because this one is trickier to remember. Backward C, put your needle up through it, then wrap your needle. There's your 8 shape. Now you can pull that tight on the needle, go back down right next to where you came up. Make sure you're holding your working thread snug and pull your needle through. So there's your backward C. Put your needle up through, wrap your needle. There's your 8 shape. Go back down right next to where you came up. Pull that working thread tight, and your pattern is complete, and you can tie off the back. Now you are ready to rinse off that stick and stitch paper. I just put it under my sink under warm water. There's not a lot to see here in this shot because the paper and the fabric is so light, it's hard to watch it wash away. But there it is, washed away. And then I like to put mine in a windowsill if it's sunny out. You can also pop it in the dryer. You can also use an iron to speed up the drying process if you need to. And there is your completed bib. I will show you a couple other ways you can embroider these. One is in a full name, which is super cute. I did it in a monogrammed pillow. You can see the flower stitching is a little different. Or you can fill the letter in or add a frame, which is in the larger pattern set. I will share a tutorial on how to cover back stitches. I like to cover all back stitches when I am giving items as gifts, and there are 2 different ways, so stay tuned for that. I will link that in the caption also. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like this post. If you want to see more tutorials, don't forget to subscribe. All the tools and patterns for this project are linked below.